me a queen.
Raziel Reid's first novel about a young, unapologetic, and flamboyant gay man living in a much too small, much too conservative town has garnered literary notoriety by winning the 2014 Governor General's Award and a place in the 2015 Canada Reads selection. When Everything Feels Like the Movies is the story of Jude Rothesay, narrated posthumously by Jude himself. Jude is dramatic, glamorous, and admittedly stereotypically gay. He is too much more a small-minded town. He is incessantly bullied and beaten simply for being the person that he is. He lives bleakly, having to steal his mom's tips from stripping to afford a bite to eat with his only friend Angela at the local diner. Jude conceptualized his own life to a life of fame and fortune to make his own life bearable. In his mind, he is the star of the next hit film franchise, but it is all simply fantasy. I chose to include When Everything Feels Like the Movies into our digital book talk series because not only is it a fun, interesting, quick read, I think it's a very important one. But with that, I think it's one that'll cause a great divide. I think a lot of people will love it and love its subject matter and writing style, but I think a lot of people will hate it too. I think they'll hate it because of its explicit language, its explicit sexual nature, its mentions of drugs and promiscuous sex, and all these other things we know that teenagers are well aware of and perhaps even participating in, but we still don't talk about it for some reason. And I think that if you're taking that stance on morality surrounding the novel, I think you're completely negating the author's portrayal of a reality for so many LGBTQ constant fear of being bullied to death simply for being who they are. As for using this text in a classroom, I think you could examine it through a gender lens because Jude doesn't really present his gender in a typical way, it's more of a fluid way. I also think you could examine it through a class or social lens because Jude and his family sort of live on the bottom rung of the social ladder, and you could examine how people of the LGBTQ community are often marginalized in society. I think this would also be a cool opportunity to start a screenplay writing assignment because film and film processes are so important to the novel. I think it would be a different way to get your students to write, and they can write from the characters and maybe build upon the characters and different scenes from the novel. And also think this novel provides a great opportunity to analyze the characters because with such a short book, the author creates such a dynamic character with Jude. He's so interesting and ridiculous and funny and mean and dramatic and flamboyant. He's just such a rich character, and the author gives us a very clear insight into a young queer man's mind that I think a lot of students don't get the opportunity to know. Or maybe they do, maybe they're living that reality, but I think we have to show our students these narratives because they're valued as much as any other narrative.